Riordan has once again posted another article, and this is by far the craziest update he has right now. He titled this article as Welcome to Camp Half-Blood, and in this video, I'll share and explain this letter to you guys. So without further ado, let's get started. Rick starts this off by saying, Welcome to Disney 23, the Disney Superfan Convention in Anaheim, California. Today, I gotta share the stage with our 3 stars, Walker Scobell, Leia Jeffries, and Aryan Simhadri, to give the audience the very first, tiniest, sneakiest sneak peek at what we're working on for the TV show Percy Jackson and the Olympians. For this part, he shows this picture of that fan convention, with Rick on the left side, then Walker, Aryan, then Leia. He then attaches a video on his website, which was the official first teaser that Disney Plus had for us, and this is the biggest thing ever at the moment. So as a longtime fan, I'm going to try to break down these scenes that we have in the trailer. So the first thing we ever see is branches of a tree, which I think is one of the trees in Camp Half-Blood, though someone actually joked that it was already Thalia in her tree form. There's a voiceover that goes over that, and it was Walker saying the first ever line in the first ever book, which was,
Look, I didn't want to be a half-blood.
Which, side note, honestly made me want to cry out of happiness. If there was something that I really wanted when it came to the teaser, or the first episode or shot that we had for the show, I was praying that they keep that iconic intro, because I wanted to hear Percy saying that. What I noticed though is that Walker's tone when delivering this line was pretty dramatic and a bit melancholy. He delivered it in a sense that he regretted being a demigod, which I guess sort of applies to Percy around this book because he just lost his mother and then he realized that his father was an all-powerful Greek god who barely checked on him. So I guess the delivery was pretty appropriate. I don't know if it was just me who felt it, but when I was reading that paragraph for the first time, I honestly read it in a light tone with Percy's usual sass and humor. It's kind of like him talking right in front of me. Like he's telling me that he didn't choose the half-blood life, but it sort of became his life and it all started this way, and how he'll tell me how it all started. It was a casual line, but Walker made it so suspenseful to the point that it gave me goosebumps. Aside from Walker's voiceover, we also have a quick shot of a sign, which was stables and archery, which again is an accessory from camp. And then we have the scene of Walker getting some sort of necklace in a bag, which I think is one of the leather necklaces of Camp Half-Blood, but this time there are no beads yet as Percy, or Walker, is starting his journey as a demigod in this book. After this, we have a shot of Walker walking around the grounds of camp, and then we get a quick look at the designed orange Camp Half-Blood shirts, which I have to admit, they look pretty good and exactly what I imagined. And then we get these shots of owls, which Rick addressed in the paragraph below this teaser. He said, Those are legit owls who just happened to be in the trees on the day we were filming at camp. I think Athena was giving her blessing. After the owl shots, we see a girl dressed in armor, and at first I didn't really recognize it, but looking more closely at it, it's actually Dior Goodjohn, who will play Clarice LaRue. That's a great Easter egg. We then meet Walker again walking around the camp, and it leads up to him walking to this establishment, which I for some reason thought it was the big house, when in fact fans told me that it was the Poseidon cabin. Walker then ends this entire thing by saying,
Don't say I didn't warn you.
With a shot of him in the rain, which almost made me scream, because I could recognize what that scene is from a mile away. This is the part where Percy is trying to get to camp for the first time with his mom and Grover. This was the night when it was raining so hard, and Percy saw the Minotaur for the first time. This was the moment when Percy showed off his strength as a son of Poseidon, and it was also the same night when Percy thought his mother was dead. I know, I just got a simple shot of Walker in the rain and I already got that. Well, I tried to put the pieces together of what Rick said before, and how they filmed up until chapter 9, and it sort of makes sense that they already filmed the Minotaur scene. Also, I don't remember any scene that mentioned Percy in the rain before chapter 9, so it makes sense that that was the Minotaur scene. Rick ends the letter by saying, It was a thrill to be at Disney 23 with our stars. Tomorrow, we fly back to Vancouver to continue filming on Monday. We have many more miles to travel and more monsters to vanquish before we complete this quest, but everything is going great. and we couldn't ask for a better trio of heroes to save the world. And that's how the letter ends. So now, from what I explained in the trailer, let's see if I actually got them correctly through Rick's other recent letter called Back in Vancouver. But before that, I'll summarize what happens in this article. So, basically, this letter tells us that from the Disney 23 convention, Rick came back to set with the cast, and this is what he felt during that convention. Rick admits that he appreciated all of the praise and fans that showed up, and how people had called him a creator of their childhood, which Rick said was such an honor. He then shows this picture of the trio and him, though he for some reason decided to caption it as, "Check out this great trio of heroes above. Just ignore that old dude in the back. Not sure how he sneaked in. Probably just some random creator of the series who wandered in off the street." But anyway, he then shows this picture of a guy behind Leia, who was actually Harvey Guillen, who was an actor that he admired because of his role in What We Do in the Shadows. Rick then goes on about that convention, saying that it was an interesting experience and how it was a completely different feeling compared to what he felt as an author. He then mentions the trailer and how he was happy as to how fans responded, because, like me, so many fans went absolutely crazy over this teaser. He then decides to address a few things fans have said throughout social media. The first thing he talked about was the sign scene, and apparently, fans have said that it looked like Greek words instead of English, which I don't really understand, because Rick's right, it looks like English to me. I mean, that sign reads stables and the other reads archery. And then, Rick goes on about the symbol of the Poseidon cabin in this scene. To be honest, I'm glad he addressed this because I did not recognize it as a Poseidon symbol in the first glance. I was actually confused as to why Percy was going there in the first place. But anyway, Rick reveals that there was a story behind that symbol and why they decided to choose it. He tells us that it isn't Greek or any known human language, but it's intentional. Which is just making me feel a bit weird, because this Camp Half-Blood, and in all my years of reading the books, there was nothing like that at all. Rick doesn't fully reveal what it means though, and he told us that we'll discover what it means later on. Rick then talks about the Camp Half-Blood shirts, and how he agrees how it looks fantastic, and how it's the new generation one. So for the new fans, you might not know it, but that wasn't the original design. This was the original one, and you'll often see this among fans who loves to cosplay some characters. They're using that design Camp Half-Blood shirt because that's the original one, and from this teaser, Rick and the team tweaked it up a bit. Rick then says it's amazing to be back on set, and every day, he'd tell to himself that after all the hard work they've made, it's actually and already happening. Percy Jackson is coming to the big screen. Rick then closes the entire letter by showing this last shot of the trio, and that's how the letter ends. From this teaser, I am more hyped and excited for the show, and I honestly want to get even more of what they're doing on set right now. So how about you? What do you think of this teaser? Let me know in the comments down below.